up with that 50 shit?
Fuck 50, man. 50's a coward. Where's he at?
We went down with that cat 50 Cent. We went down with that.
Who?
That cat 50 Cent.
Who? He's nobody. He's right. This person we're talking about, he's no.
I'll tell you personally, the Murder Inc., the people that you see like Irv, Ja, the people that are involved in the business aspect are bitches. Like these niggas don't got no hood in them.
What up guys, it's your boy Ali, and welcome to Hip Hop Forever. Now in 2004, Ja Rule released a song called New York featuring Fat Joe and Jadakiss. At the time, Ja Rule was becoming less relevant in hip hop, and his beef with 50 was taking a negative toll on his image. Ja released New York because he was trying to regain the respect of a city that once loved him. For the most part, it worked. New York was actually a very decent record. However, the momentum that Ja Rule was slowly building up came to a halt when 50 got wind of Ja Rule's activities. When New York dropped, 50 didn't like the song. He accused Jadakiss and Fat Joe of attempting to revive Ja Rule's career, and as a result, he made them targets as well. I can't let you help Ja Rule while I'm trying to destroy him. Before he went at Jada, 50 must have thought he had the upper hand. He was one of the biggest selling artists in the world. He was backed by Eminem and Dr. Dre, and he had successfully destroyed Ja Rule's career. 50 probably thought Jada was going to be easy prey, but as we all got to find out, he was clearly mistaken. Before we get into the track, 50 did an interview with XXL in 2005. In typical 50 fashion, he decided to use that opportunity to mock Jadakiss for having low sales numbers. And to add insult to injury, 50 said Jadakiss was a good rapper. However, he claimed Jadakiss couldn't make a good song without using someone else on the hook. Also, 50 took another jab at Jadakiss when he said that his artist could out-rap Jada. When you can't break 1 million records, and you call yourself going platinum, I know your numbers is 800,000 and change, and you can't get over that hump, and you haven't put out a record with your voice on the chorus. He's a great rapper, but he's not a great songwriter. I got artists under me that are better than him. At this point, Jada didn't seem to be afraid of 50. He knew that 50 was a bigger artist. However, despite going against a bigger opponent, he had a feeling that he could destroy 50 lyrically. In 2005, 50 released Piggy Bank. The track had a few lines directed at Jadakiss.
Jada don't fuck with me if you wanna eat.
Lyrically, Piggy Bank isn't anything to write home about. 50 was going at multiple artists on the song, so his aim wasn't on point. However, the song still had impact. When 50 went at Ja Rule, he showed the world that as far as beef goes, he was nothing to be messed with.
You can buy cars but can't buy respect in the hood. Maybe I'm so disrespectful cause to me you're a mystery.
A lot of rappers at the time didn't want to go at 50 at all because they just saw what happened to Ja Rule. However, as we got to find out, Jadakiss wasn't afraid of 50 at all. And soon after 50 Cent dropped Piggy Bank, Jadakiss retaliated with a song called Checkmate and basically tried to go for 50's head.
Screw a press conference! Press this on your conscience!
You gon' handle this like grown men, you won't win. You don't even feel comfortable in your own skin.
Clearly, Jada got right down to the shits. On the Massacre's album cover, 50 had lines drawn on him because physically he wasn't in the same shape as he was when he made Get Rich or Die Trying. Evidently, within 2 bars, Jadakiss made the King of New York appear to be insecure.
I heard you put a couple good niggas behind bars. I might never sell that much. You could bet your last 2 quarters I never tell that much.
Now around 2003, Irv Gotti and Ja Rule got into trouble with the law. The feds raided the Murder Inc. offices because they believed Murder Inc. was involved with a known narcotics trafficker from Queens named Kenneth Supreme. As we all got to find out, Irv and Supreme were friends. They had a long history. However, despite being friends with a narcotics trafficker, Murder Inc. didn't get involved in anything illegal. In a song called Get a Quran, 50 exposed Supreme's criminal activities to the world.
See niggas feared Prince and respected Preem. Supreme was the businessman and Prince was the killer. Remember? He used to push the bulletproof BM,
At the time, Supreme was trying to go legit. However, the attention he received after 50 released the song made the feds believe that Supreme was still up to his old criminal ways. The Ja Rule 50 Cent beef was partly because Supreme spoke up for Ja Rule, and 50 Cent took that as a rejection of him. As we all know, 50 and Eminem's diss tracks towards Murder Inc. are partially responsible for the downfall of the label.
Irv Gotti, too much Bacardi in his body. Motherfucker 12K shotty.
But also, once the feds got involved, Murder Inc. was a rap. In these couple of lines, Jada made 50 look like a snitch. In the world of hip-hop, snitching is forbidden unless you have rainbow hair. So it's safe to say that Jadakiss hurt 50 Cent's credibility a little bit with these lines.
Picture Kiss not come out swinging. It's like going to see 50 at a show and he don't come out singing.
In these lines, Jadakiss made 50 look like a hypocrite. One major thing that 50 didn't like about Ja Rule was the fact that Ja Rule sang in his songs.
Every thug needs a lady.
And when 50 got Ja Rule out of the game, he started singing too. At the time, singing rappers were not praised like today. A few were able to slip through the cracks, but for the most part, they had a difficult time selling a tough guy image. 50 started singing more after Get Rich or Die Trying got released.
I take you to the candy shop. I let you lick the lollipop.
And to nobody's surprise, some people were not feeling it. And that includes Jadakiss.
Yeah, you got a felony, but you ain't a predicate. Never the king of New York, you live in Connecticut.
At this point, I knew 50 regretted dissing Jadakiss. Jada brought 50's claim to the throne into question. At the time, 50 used to call himself the king of New York. He was dominating the charts at the time, so not that many people questioned his authority. Jadakiss raised a valid point. How could 50 claim to be the king of New York when he lived in Connecticut? That's like if Bill Gates decided to call himself the CEO of Apple. People would look at him crazy, because we all know that he doesn't have a position within Apple. Now, I know that's a terrible analogy.
I'm trying to explain, baby, the best way I can.
But I think it proves my point. To be a king of a people, you actually have to reside with them. That's why Drake bought a mansion in Toronto. And I know there are a few exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, it stands true.
This is a true fact. Since when has it become cool to get shot and not shoot back?
As we all know by now, 50 got shot 9 times in front of his home. The attack resulted in bullets to his face, arm, chest, hip, and both his legs. And it even changed the way he spoke. 50 was lucky to survive the shooting. However, as Jada kindly pointed out, 50 did not fire back at his attackers. Jay-Z also dissed 50 and the game subliminally on a track called 30 Something. He said something about respecting the shooter and not the one who got shot.
Y'all respect the one who got shot. I respect the shooter.
Now personally, I think the mere fact that 50 survived 9 shots is a miracle in itself. I don't think 50 not shooting back brings his street credibility into question, but to some, that is not the case. Jada and Jay-Z made the public look at 50's shooting from a different perspective, and eventually this narrative started chipping away at 50's backstory.
Be laid up stiff, I spit straight up piff. I did real songs with Big, no made up shits.
Now remember those songs that 50 Cent recorded with Biggie? Don't remember? Let me refresh in your memory then. 50 Cent and Biggie had a track, Realist Killers.
We the realest nigga. 50 Cent ABIG, my nigga.
When we smoke spliffs, we pack 4/5, just in case Dread wanna rip.
The song was featured on the Bad Boys 2 soundtrack, and it was obviously put together after Biggie died. They collaborated again on a track called The Grind in 2006.
I go hard for mine, I work 9 to 5, and I stay on the grind now. Stay on the grind.
Niggas talking it but ain't living it. Cristal pop, I'm sipping it. Marv hats and lizard shit.
And this song was also put together after Biggie's death. People started asking questions. Would Biggie collaborate with 50 if he was still alive? How authentic is a track that got put together after a rapper dies anyway? To me, the tracks were enjoyable. However, using the material of a deceased artist is always sketchy. Jadakiss knew this. Also, like Jada said, he recorded songs with Biggie when he was still alive, and in my opinion, it gets no more authentic than that. Moving on.
You ain't get shot again yet, so what's your second album about? No.
This track is full of quotables, and you know what? To me, The Massacre isn't my favorite 50 Cent album. I can count the number of songs I like off it on one hand. Not to say the album was not good, it just sounded like a failed attempt to recreate Get Rich or Die Trying. Disco Inferno did not even come close to matching the success of In the Club, so to Jadakiss's point, he was right. When 50 dropped The Massacre, his buzz was at an all-time high. The album sold 1.14 million copies in the first week. However, after I listened to the album, it became very clear that 50 was starting to run out of content.
It'd take a lifetime to see Kiss. You had to get shot 9 times to be rich.
Now these lines are self-explanatory. Get Rich or Die Trying's marketing plan focused on 50 getting shot.
I get shot. I'm in the hospital 13 days.
Which begs the question, if 50 didn't get shot, would he have blown up the way he did? In my opinion, getting attacked gave 50 a backstory. Before the shooting, 50 was known in the streets, and he already had a solid reputation. However, once he got hit and signed to Eminem, everybody wanted to know more about the street hustler that survived 9 shots and lived.
Where were you shot?
In my hands, my legs several times, like 5 times in my hands, and then in my legs, and then in my face.
You should just sell clothes and sneakers, cause out of your whole camp, your flow's the weakest.
Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I think Tony Yayo's flow is the weakest in G-Unit. Thoughts of a Predicate Felon was a solid album. Surprisingly enough, it has replay value. But that doesn't change the fact that Tony Yayo's bars and flows on the project are not as strong as the other members of G-Unit.
Look like Jesus kissed her in the morning. Have a rich nigga mounted.
To me, Yayo simply puts down random words together that rhyme. He's not the best storyteller. He's incapable of dropping a line that would make me want to rewind the track to hear what he just said. So if anyone is the weakest in G-Unit, it has to be Tony Yayo. And I think DMX would agree.
Lloyd Banks, Big L, Eminem, DMX, Drake.
Lloyd Banks?
Huh? Lloyd Banks, of course. Bro,
Lyricist?
Some of the illest lines ever.
All right, quote 4 bars. Impress me with 4 bars is.
Come on, X. Come on, I can't
Give me
think
4
of
bars.
the-
Yo, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard. 4 bars. 4 bars. No, fuck it.
So out of all the lines on this song, I don't think this one applies to 50.
It'll take a lifetime to see Kiss. You had to get shot 9 times to be rich.
Jada ended the verse by attacking 50 Cent's backstory once again. It was an appropriate way to end the track because it got people wondering if 50 was interesting only because he got shot. Overall, Checkmate was a solid diss track. I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5. It wasn't very long, but every line had intent. Even the chorus was clever because it implied 50 was an informant.
Snake ass nigga, you's an animal. You's a motherfucking animal. Matter of fact, you ain't no animal. I'ma show these motherfuckers how to handle you.
I don't think 50 anticipated Jada would go this hard. He probably thought Jadakiss would be easy prey, and as we all got to find out, he was wrong. Now the only reason I'm not giving Checkmate a 5 is because it did not hit 50 that hard. The bars were good, everything about this diss track was good. However, 50 was still in a good position career-wise after the track came out. And after Checkmate got released, the diss tracks did not stop there. 50 and Jadakiss continued to go at each other on wax. G-Unit got involved. The beef started to get very personal, especially when 50 offered to buy Jadakiss's publishing. In hindsight, the beef between Jadakiss and 50 was nothing but pure entertainment. Both parties brought their A game, but in the world of hip-hop, there's usually only one winner. Now if you like these type of videos, I can break down the diss tracks that followed. But yeah, that's it for me, man. It's your boy Ali. Was Checkmate a good diss track? Did it do anything to 50's career? Let me know down below. Also, if you want me to review other tracks, let me know as well. I'll be dropping another What Happened 2 video next week. And yeah, man, peace.